Sunny skies that we have here for the day have masked a chilly morning. That's how we started out today, with a little more of a winter flavor, but the sun really doing the trick and kind of giving us some of those warm vibes. That's why we're here on our Jet Express Cam, even thinking about those warmer days out on Put-in-Bay, and we are looking forward to when we have those back. Now, temperatures, however, are a little bit slow to get going, but of course we have a lot of work to do since our lows were in the 20s this morning. You're going to find right now we have 37 in Toledo, and even our neighbors in Chicago and Pittsburgh are just hovering above the freezing mark. It isn't, though, too terribly far. You'll see the southern portion of the Buckeye State, even into west, or over towards our west into Indiana. We have temperatures into the lower 40s, and of course even further south. For some of us, it's spring break or it's right around the corner, and they are lucky finding some warmer temperatures to the south. Now, we are looking ahead, though, to Friday. Of course, we're just a little bit a ways from the Mud Hens home opener. We are excited to see some baseball back into downtown Toledo, and happy that we have warm temperatures to go with it. You're going to find that our highs peak into the lower 60s, and that will be here for first pitch. Since we're going to be finding that game starting at the peak heat of the day, we should hold on to those 60s, maybe falling into the upper 50s for the game by the end. But overall, I'm happy to see some improvements here with our forecast. We've been talking about the wind, we've been talking about the rain, and we've been talking about the mild temperatures. I do still have the wind and the rain in the forecast throughout the day, but I am spotting some dry moments to where I do anticipate us getting that first pitch in. It's going to be towards the last out that we're going to have to be watching the WTOL 11 weather app, as some more rain will be moving back in. But southwest winds, those are still going to be blustery around 20 to 30 miles per hour, but that's going to be the reason we see these temperatures take off into the 60s. Now, the system that we have that's going to be bringing us those warmer temperatures is actually just coming across that energy into the west coast. That's going to continue to move pretty quick here as we go into the later half of today and overnight, that this system will finally start to take shape, and that'll bring us a different forecast. So we've had sun all day long, and we will hold that as we go throughout the afternoon. By dinner time and early evening, though, that's when things change. Some clouds will start to move in later for the day, and overnight, that's when we're going to start to see that rainfall turn on. It'll be before sunrise. We're talking 4 or 5 a.m. where we will see rain, and even some of the heaviest and steadiest of rainfall will be right around sunrise, or while we're waiting at the bus stop or doing that morning commute. So keep that in mind, that tomorrow morning could be a little bit slower, since we will be finding those showers and at times some steady rain to be working its way through. But as we advance in time, you're going to find 1, 2 o'clock. We had a little bit of a break where we have just those clouds that are overhead, but by 8 o'clock, so that means that we're going to be getting towards the last half of the game or even the drive home, we're going to be watching this band of rainfall. This will also include some showers and thunderstorms in it. That's going to be moving across northwest Ohio, and we'll have that part over the lake as we head into the later half of our Friday. So that's going to be kind of that cold front that sets up, and that's going to then stall out these southwest winds. But we'll have southwest winds for much of your Friday. As we go through the day, you are going to find that those wind speeds are around 20, even towards 30 miles per hour for some of us. So it'll be blustery at times for the day. Like I said, it's a little bit of give and take. It is going to allow us to have those 60s, but it may just not feel as warm because we won't have those still calm conditions. But since we're talking about opening day, we know that we can have a little bit of anything in the forecast. That's what we've been seeing as we transition into spring. But looking at the last 5 home openers, you're going to find that the dates vary quite a bit. We've seen it anywhere from early April to, well, early May. And a lot of that is because, well, the 2020 season didn't happen because of the coronavirus pandemic. And then in 2021, the pandemic also delaying that start a little bit. Though the dates have shifted a little bit, you're going to find that we have temperatures that are pretty consistent, anywhere from 50s, 60s, and even 75. Everybody was loving it back in 2018. A lot of memories everyone's been chatting about this week. When it was 75, there was some sun that year. So a lot of folks were really enjoying heading to Fifth Third Field that day. This year, maybe a little bit different with that rainfall, hoping for a window or two of some dry weather. The one thing, though, I found very interesting is that, well, in the last 5 opening days, none of them have been in March. Tomorrow is March 31st. And we will still have temperatures that are going to be into the 60s, kind of falling in line with what we can expect for a Mud Hens home opener. So some interesting history there as far as the forecast. But the baseball forecast, not only for opening day, but all season long. Have the WTOL 11 weather app. If you're headed to downtown to take in some ball, make sure you have this on your phone and your pocket. If you don't, just download it, search WTOL 11 weather in your Google Play Store, Apple App Store, and that is going to allow you to get this app. You're going to have the baseball forecast there. You're going to have hourly conditions for the game. You'll have radar if you need it, if you're going to be chancing some rain as you head into the open stadium. However, even if you're not going to the game, you can use the app for all your weather needs. Now, I know some of us are going to be using the app to check radar further south and west for tomorrow, because this is a reminder and kind of a heads up that spring storms, they're going to be starting to come around here in our forecast. You are going to find, here we are, Toledo. We're on the edge as far as that low chance for severe. And that chance is going to be Friday night as this cold front sweeps through. But during the peak heat of the day, we are going to find that towards our west. So that's why we have these 2 red dots here as far as our strongest locations for picking up that severe weather threat. But like I said, it's the time of day that's really going to matter here, because by the time the cold front passes, we're not going to have that heat from the day anymore. We still will have some thunderstorms. We just won't have the best ingredients like we do for the west to really see that severe weather really take off and brew. So just plan on potentially, if you have friends further west, hearing about some stronger spring storms, and also use this as a reminder. We are headed into storm season, so you have to be weather aware as we continue looking at the forecast. Now let's stop here though, just look at the weekend. A lot of us are getting excited, not only for Friday for the home opener, but Saturday and Sunday. We'll have temperatures into the 50s for both days. Saturday we have the backside of the system, so we will have some spotty showers, and it'll still be windy as that system starts to exit. But we will have some clouds then in between, and more than likely that 50, it's going to be early in the morning, will fall into the 40s through the rest of the day. So again, that's why you got to have the WTOL 11 weather app, so you can stay on top of those temperatures. Now it'll be a little bit more of a pick day on Sunday with that 53. We'll have some sun, maybe a few clouds out there at best, but it'll be fairly seasonal as we head into early April. But really, we're just eyeing the sun and some 50s. It's been pretty hard to find that in the forecast lately. But when I look ahead at this temperature trend, of course, we see the ups and the downs, but I'm happy to see that we have more 50s, more 60s, and even a 73-degree day coming our way. That'll be next Wednesday, but before we get there, we at least have some 50s starting to show up instead of some 40s as we go into the weekend and early next week. Tuesday, lake breeze, that'll hold us back into the 40s again, but at least we're starting to see more 50s and 60s, and even towards the later half of next week, though temperatures don't hold into the 70s, we at least get closer to seasonal temperatures by the next weekend. I also know a lot of you have said, hey, it storms on Friday and then a little bit into our weekend, and then those temperatures drop on Saturday. So we are watching this weekend forecast and the pattern. It's been a little stormy here on those Fridays. Hopefully we can change that up and help those temperatures out in the month of April. Now this morning we had lows that were into the 20s, so we were well below average starting out for the fact that a lot of us are just getting close to that average low for a temperature as this is being put together. You'll find average highs should be in the mid 50s, and we're struggling to keep that consistently in our forecast. But maybe with a little added daylight, that'll help. Your sunset tonight still short of the 8 o'clock hour, but we're getting pretty close, 120 seconds short of that 8 o'clock hour. 7:58 will be your sunset for this Thursday night. On our extended forecast, you are going to find that rainfall in for your Friday. We do anticipate a few hours of dry but cloudy weather. So have the app, monitor radar, look for those windows and some breaks in the rain. They will be there. Saturday, we have a couple of showers. We'll find those into the morning as the system lifts. Temperatures consistently a little more spring-like. Some sun on Sunday. That's how every weekend should be. And you'll find that temperatures are all over the place for next week as we have rain showers painted into the forecast. Even Wednesday, when we have that 73, we're going to be watching for some showers and thunderstorms that day as a cold front will be working its way through. So we'll be watching the timing of that and also the setup that we have as well. But once we get through that, you're going to find that the forecast goes quiet. Nothing on Friday for now. So we'll see if this pattern can change a little bit as temperatures are going to be fairly seasonal into the mid to upper 50s. Of course, again, if you are going to the Mud Hens home opener tomorrow, have the WTOL 11 weather app and also cheer very loud for our hens. Of course, we wish our best of luck to the team.